We're back once again, only on its after hours, only on full swap radio. And join me here on location. This young lady here, well, she made the trek. She moved all the way from the Midwest to Miami, and well, she has not looked back since then and made a boatload of money and well, some great clips. I give you the beautiful, the gorgeous, and I give you very hardworking. I give you Matessa Nicole. So Matessa, let's start off here with what made you decide to do this in the first place? What made you decide to go, all right, I'm leaving, Midwest and decide to head on to Miami where it's incredibly hot and humid. I mean, it hits you like basically like a gut punch right away, right in the face.
Mhm. It does. It right now it is really hot. It's like unbearably hot. However, it's only like this like, summer months, and then the winter months it's going to be like the perfect it's going to be nice. But anyway, I left Minnesota because I just it was getting to be a little bit too small of a city, like the way I promote myself online isn't typical of women in Minnesota, and I was getting a lot of hate for it. So for safety reasons, I decided to go south.
Much is it also easier where, it's beautiful weather, it's there's beaches, and for you, tons of content creators. Like I'm guessing it's easier now shooting content, collaborating with people in Miami rather than Minnesota, where it's like, okay, my options are kind of limited. We're really like, scraping the bottom of a barrel here.
Yeah, there's a lot more content creators. I don't know if this is true, but did you see that meme that said Miami has the largest population of OnlyFans creators?
I did, and
Yeah,
I know it's a meme. It's supposed to be a joke, but it's sort of like, oh, really crap. It's actually true.
I think it is true.
So let's talk about more about you, the businesswoman, because you have a Hubert. I'm looking here to your account. You have a booking assistant for if people want to actually, have time, FaceTime and everything. So somebody who can actually manage a schedule. Some of us actually need more than others, like myself. You have, of course, an OnlyFans. You have a now called X. You have a YouTube channel. You also have, you have a video chat. Like, how many platforms do you have, and how tough is that? Like, constantly making sure, okay, is there enough content for this, content for that? Am I on this? Like, it's almost like you have like 7 or 8 different jobs at once.
Yeah, well, well, I always say don't put all your eggs in one basket. So you have to kind of like it's kind of hard to survive on just one stream of income. I feel like you have to think that's what I don't know, that's what I do. That's what I've always done for years.
So how do you make sure for you, especially because you do have family, you do have friends, you do have, like you actually go on a date once in a while. How do you make sure you don't overdo it? And like, as a running joke for every content creators, oh, this is wonderful. I get to make my own schedule. Next thing you know, it's like they're shooting content 20 out 24 hours a day, injecting coffee into their veins, not coming up for air. Like, how do you make sure that you don't just, lose yourself in this?
Um, the minute I start getting like a little like snippy with some of my clients, or I start getting a little irritated over repetitive questions that could be easily be answered if they just took 2 seconds to look, I'll step away and take a break. A beach day, I live right here on the beach. I just try to pace myself, but definitely the reason why I'm a sex worker is because I appreciate the the freedom, like waking up when you want. This could be put off till tomorrow, or I can easily switch. When you're collabing with somebody, people are pretty flexible, I feel, but it's definitely the freedom of time.
It's one of the things you've had to learn, I'm guessing, also is balancing budgets because at first, like, oh yeah, you have this money coming in, but because you are an independent contractor and a businesswoman, you got to pay for health insurance, you got to pay for dental insurance, you got to pay for vision insurance, you got to make sure you have enough money for travel because sometimes you want to go to an event or you'll want to go to Vegas or maybe even dare I say, California for a trip to shoot people, or you got to make sure that you have enough for the cameras. Like for you, how much now in advance is sometimes you need to plan stuff out, budget everything, and make sure, okay, I need to make X amount of bucks so that I can actually go on these trips for this year.
I'm not really a planner. I'm kind of more of a last minute kind of girl, which probably isn't the smartest thing in the world. And I've definitely learned from a lot of mistakes that I've made. But to be honest with you, I don't really do a lot of traveling. Like as you know, Exotica and XBiz are here in Miami, and there's so many content creators. So I just get kind of worn out on flying all over the place. But I spend a lot of time in Miami, and I'm kind of like a book the flight like the night before type of girl. Like if I'm planning on going somewhere.
So take me to the OnlyFans. What's some of the more creative, let's say, stuff you've done on that in terms of like not sexy or sensual, but stuff where you're like, hey, this is I didn't very creative. This is something that you tied into your creative juice. Like, what are some of the things you've done for content where it's like, hey, all right, you thought outside the box. You did something that for you is either trend setting or it's like, hey, I didn't know I could do this.
Um, the, I, to be honest with you, I'm kind of a old-fashioned gal, so I don't know if any of my work has really been outside of the box. It's the typical solo girl, guy girl, a lot of blowjobs, BJs. Sorry, I don't know what I can say. I guess my longtime fans probably enjoy my solo content the best. Sometimes they get jealous seeing me with other guys, but this is guys that I've had follow me from other like regular social media platforms, or clients or people that I've met from back when I was a dancer. A lot of my fans have been with me for years, way before OnlyFans.
So what is that like having these people who, as you said, it's like almost like a rock star tour. They follow you no matter what. I mean, you go one platform, they follow you there. You go to another platform, they'll go there. As you
True.
said, you'll
Yeah.
do just a solo content, like taking a shower scene. They're still paying for it.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, it's a lot of the same men that I've met in real life. A lot of people back from my hometown in Minnesota. Like I said, I used to cut I was a hairstylist for a long time, and I cut men's hair at Sport Clips. And even men from when I cut their hair, they're following me still and just like, oh, I wish she could cut my hair again. And so it's kind of nice. So I always think about the women that have OnlyFans management, and like how like a management company would message these people back, like when they know the person in real life. Do you know what I mean? It can't just be like this generic message. So I've never had a management company either on OnlyFans. So like I said, it's a lot of the guys that know me in real life, and it's just a way to keep in contact. They know I'm always going to get right back to them, whether it's on Sex Panther, OnlyFans, Alua, some of the different sites that you saw on my link there.
Take me to that with solo scenes, because that's the toughest thing to do. Everybody I've talked to, because you gotta get in the mood. And once you're in the mood, you
Yeah.
know, you're into it, you're doing great, that's fine. Then there's days you just don't feel like doing it. I'm guessing it's like, okay, I'm tired, cramping, I just don't feel like it. And you guys and you're playing with, let's say whether it's a toy, a vegetable, sometimes even just like oils, and it's like, I just don't want to do this. I just want to go back to bed. I'm tired. How do you do that? How do you sometimes just like suck it up and go, okay, we're
Well,
doing
in my
this.
mind,
We are. I'm gonna. Yeah.
you can do a nice little solo bed in 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes, if you just do it, then you actually feel better afterwards. If you're able to come on camera, that's how if I'm trying to put something out, a lot of my videos are between 10 and probably 17 minutes or something, but my solo stuff, I usually keep it around 10, 12 minutes.
All right.
Just get
You're
it
gonna
over
ask this
with.
one
You'll
more
feel
time.
better afterwards.
I can imagine because after a while, it's like, okay, I did it. And then it's like, you feel better, you're refreshed, and it's done. You don't have to worry about also people like, okay, now you got to leave. It's time to
Right.
leave.
And the guys need something new. So it's kind of fun. And I think a lot of my audience likes it to know that I just made it that day or just made it and just sent it out. It's not a recycled piece of content.
Who are your favorite girls to work? Like, give me some women that you enjoy collaborating with because A, they literally, like women. B, they bring out the best in you, whether it's their personality, whether it's, just they make every day fun when you're shooting with them. Like, who are your like go-to gals that you love collaborating with because they have a total package?
I like Nina Dolce. She's also here in South Florida. Um, Melanie Monroe is like another great one. Austin Taylor. And then for like NS or save for work stuff, I have a few girlfriends that we like to just make little TikToks too, like Tana Habibi, Sure Cakes, Blonde Gummy Bear. She's another cute one. Yeah, so many options here in South Florida. It's really nice.
Who's on wish list? Because you've gotten to that
Say that
point
again.
now where it, like for you, there's probably women you want.
I'm sorry, I can't hear. Are you, I can't hear anything right now. Sorry.
No promise.
Okay.
Who's on your wish list for people that you have not shot with yet, but you want to shoot with?
For men,
For women.
I don't. To be honest with you, I'm not really into women, so that's kind of hard
All
for
right.
me. But I have done it just for the sake of having it in my, having it. But if I was going to, it would be like like a close girlfriend of mine. But I'm not into women at all. But for men, I've had my eyes on J Mac for a while. I think J Mac is really hot, and I think he's
I'm
in
glad.
Florida too.
I was gonna say so. So you mentioned J Mac. How tough is it though finding other male content creators who you trust? That's the key word because there's a lot of guys who come out and they probably ask, "Oh, I want to shoot content. I want to shoot content." Then you start trying to figure out: are they respectable? Do they have a platform? Do they have more than just three fans? Are they gonna actually shoot like quality content? Are they here to just try to you know do something a little bit more snarky here? Like, how tough is it figuring out who's real and who's just sort of phony?
Right. So I do get a lot of DMs every single day, like, oh, let's make content. But of course, they don't have 99% of them don't have the like the OF creators account, or they don't even, or they think it's like a scammy that you need their ID for the 2257 form. Um, nobody thinks about that kind of stuff. What like so 99% of them is just like they're not serious content creators. And then like the few that are serious, I just will go and look at their Twitter following. Who else is following them? Do I have any girlfriends following them that I trust that I could ask, like, hey, is he cool? Um, I look at his Instagram, see what he has on Pornhub. Mostly I just want to see who they've worked with in the past and if they're not like disrespectful in the scenes, because I'm not like I don't like it real rough, like where I'm getting like bruises or anything like that. So if I think we would work well together, they have a decent amount of followers, they have the creators accounts on these websites like Fansly and OnlyFans. Um, it's pretty easy. I mean, you could find, especially in South Florida, but it's just like some guys, they just need a slice of humble pie. They think, I don't know. I just feel like some guys, just because they have a penis, they think that we should be falling over ourselves to go shoot content with them. So,
All right, I gotta ask, how many dick pics do you get per day? Because I'm guessing if that's next thing, it's like, okay, hey, boom, there it is, lady. Just read it, look at it and weep. And it's like, really, really, you had to show me that at like it's not even 8 a.m. and I'm getting DMs this. Really, buddy, really.
yeah.
How often do you get those? And how often do you reply back with like a snarky remark like, oh, cocktail Frank, ooh, jumbo shrimp.
So I've actually shut off my DMs on Twitter because it was, well, wait, no, because you and I follow each other. So that's how we're able to, or you know what I mean? So, but I like last year, the DMs were getting too much on Twitter. I had to shut it off because it was too much. And same with like some other webs, like I don't check on Instagram ever. Also because I'm too afraid of getting my account shut down. I've had so many accounts banned on Instagram, so I just don't even DM and answer any DMs because they would try to send there too. So, but on Sex Panther, Alua, like some of the websites you're looking at on my website, and OnlyFans, I do dick ratings, cock ratings. So guys will send in their so I actually encourage them to send me their dick pics on those paid platforms, and then they'll either want a video response. Usually I'm topless talking about how I feel about their dick pic, or sometimes they'll just do an audio. So actually I encourage that, but just through the paid platforms. So then I don't mind at all.
I was gonna say though, when you first heard of it, oh yeah, I'm getting people are getting paid for dick pic ratings. You must have been like, really? Okay, is
Yeah,
this a joke?
right. And something else a little silly, but something just told me to mention it. Sometimes men will, I've had a few times, and I know it's not just me because I've seen other women talk about it on Twitter, but men will they'll pay for the dick rating, but then they'll send a picture of somebody else's dick. Like I'm guessing it's somebody's bigger dick or whatever. It's just kind of silly, but it's just a little game we like to play, I guess. So I never call them out like, hey, I know this is so and so's dick because I follow him on Twitter. You know what I mean? That because it's usually like a porn star dick, but I never say anything.
It,
It's all for fun anyway. But it's a little silly to do that.
it is. It's like, well, oh yeah, but I'm not gonna. It's like what do I? It would be like if a girl or guy said, "Hey, this is what I look like," and next it's like, wait a minute here.
Yeah.
That's Jason Momoa. That's Mick Yagano. No, you don't look like that. I don't know those people. It's like, really, people.
Mhm.
What do you do
But
for fun?
yeah, so through the
Because there's I was gonna say there's days you probably just want to have those mental days. Like, all right, I've done enough content. I'm just working too much. I need a mental zen break. For you, what are some of the things you do for fun, just so that you can remember, like, all right, I'm a person. I'm actually, have a normal life at times.
Okay, so like I said, I do live on the beach. All my content is beach content. So I go to the beach a lot by myself. I stop at the coffee shop. I've been reading books a lot lately. I used to read a lot when I was younger. I quit for a long time, but there's just something about a regular book in your hand, it's just really better than like on your phone or something. So I've been going to the beach and reading a lot and walking, listening to podcasts. Um, just alone time where I'm just shutting off the socials. I'm not checking my DMs or I might send out some old content so that I don't really have to deal with it. And then just you can schedule out some other content too. That's what's nice about OnlyFans is being able to schedule stuff out and then you just don't have to worry about it. But usually after a 1 day decompress, I'm good the next morning, assuming I slept good. I didn't go out and get hammered, but I haven't been drinking that much lately, so I've been pretty good.
earlier you mentioned about, the Miami, Minnesota move, and it was for business reasons, it was for content creator reasons. How much of it is also just personal in terms of you could go in Miami, and as you said, there's a million content creators, there's a million hot women. So
Yes.
and I don't mean this in a negative way, but you can basically go around, be incognito, and you can, as I said, you can walk on the beach, read a book, and you're not worried about somebody, just goggling you because there's tons of people. In Minnesota, how tough was it where you became very popular, and next thing you know, it's like you go to a grocery store, oh crap, this guy knows me, staring at me, or this woman knows me, she's staring at me. And it's almost like you become a celebrity where you have no personal life. Everybody's, watching, staring at you, knowing who you are, and you feel almost trapped.
Yeah, that's actually um so a few instances I was actually, I mean, yeah, people would recognize me all the time and be respectful, and they'll be like, I follow you on Twitter, and I'll follow them back, like, or whatever. Right then, I love meeting people. 99% of people I meet in public like that, like, hey, I've been following you on whatever, are cool. And then there's every once in a while someone, a woman typically. So there was two instances that happened almost back to back in Minneapolis, where I was like physically attacked by other women. So because they know who I was, and well, the second person, she said that her baby daddy was on my OnlyFans, and both times I had been drinking. So I was just kind of like, I want to viciously attacked, really, and vulnerable with my state, and it was just getting to be too much. I love Minneapolis, I love Minnesota. It's I There's a lot of beautiful women there. Not every woman has huge tits and a ginormous ass. So I kind of stand out a little bit. Not in Miami. Everybody has that in Miami, but back home in Minnesota. So yeah, so you stand out. I was standing out more, and women, masculine, handsome looking women, were mad about it. And for my safety, really, I try not to talk about it anymore, because I'm trying to, like, I just, yeah, for safety purposes, I had to get out.
How tough is that when you hear those stories? People are like, oh yeah, my baby daddy is one on your OnlyFans, list. It's like, well, why is that my problem here? It's not like I know the guy. It's not like we're having drinks. I'm banging him.
Right.
I mean, at what point were you like, look, that's not my problem that he finds you, but as attractive as a radish. Maybe you should lose some weight. Not be a bitch.
Hmm.
Not,
Not be a
basically
bitch.
come home and just, demean him. Hey, I'm just saying there. Next thing you know, you're like, all right, need to break out the beer bottles, start throwing him stuff at people.
Heavy on the not being a bitch. Yes, that's the thing. People are, I just try to bring like a little joy, a little happiness, spread a little love. I really feel, I always say this, but I really feel I was put on this earth to bring, like, but positivity, really, just a little cheerfulness. And so many people are just mad about it. But I also do a little bit of porn, and I have to pay the bills along the way. So, but some people are just like, and especially back home. Here, I can walk around the beach with my little tripod if I want, or, go outside, go to Wynwood, Brickell, look like a hooker, and no one's gonna bat an eye. Because, like you said, there's beautiful women everywhere here. So it's just, I can just be incognito and just kind of be a regular person. I mean, I am a regular person. I just happen to do adult content. So, but I definitely feel like I fit in better here in Miami, and I'm looking forward to slightly cooler temperatures. As you can see, I'm sitting here fanning myself. It's pretty hot right now, and sun almost summer. Where are you, if you don't mind me asking? What city are you in?
We're in Boston, so trust me, we're for us.
Ah,
It's like, oh yeah, we get the hot weather, then all of a sudden it's cold, it's raining, it's bipolar weather as we call it.
mm-hmm,
Last
mm-hmm.
question before I let you go, and you hear this all the time, and it's funny, but it's also like just after a while annoying. You'll have family members, brothers, sisters, parents, friends, maybe even a boyfriend if you have one. Put the phone down. We're having drinks. Put the phone down. We're having dinner. put your phone down. We're on vacation. Oh, can you take a day off? Can you do this? And you are usually telling them, no, this is my baby. I have kids, which is my OnlyFans, my many vids, Instagram, Twitter. These kids need to be fed here. It's like a 24/7 baby. Except they ain't growing up.
Right.
It just keeps needing. How do they handle this? And how tough was it for you explaining to them, like, look, I am running a business. I'm not just playing Sudoku on my phone. I'm answering emails, sending out DMs, uploading and, retweeting content, scheduling stuff. Like, how tough is it sometimes explaining to your family, like, I'm not ignoring you. I still have to do a job because this job is 24/7 almost.
That's funny that you bring that up because I didn't realize that other people understood that struggle. So that's really interesting that you mentioned that because it is a struggle. And like me, I do have a laptop, but I also 99% of the stuff I'm doing is just on my phone, my pictures, my videos. I'm editing on my phone, I'm sending it out on my phone, answering DMs off my phone. It really is a struggle, but I feel like it hasn't really been as family as much. Some friends understand it, but it's usually other women who um your girlfriends who are not content creators who will say that, who you think would be would understand because they see you do this day in day out for the past few years. And I don't know if it's maybe a little jealousy or like, I don't know. It is frustrating, but the people who are going to understand, I just, yeah, you're right. It's because then you feel like you're missing out on so much. And sometimes it's just quick, like somebody will be like, okay, I need this video, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here, sent you $30 tip. And it's like you just want to take the 2 minutes to send it out. You're not just mindlessly scrolling on TikTok, like, you know what I mean? It's literally his work. But then again, life is short and so it's like at the end of the day, when we're 99 years old or 105 on our deathbed, it's like, we still got to take time out for those memories for the important people in our life. As long as they can understand, hey, let me just do this really quick, bam, 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 set it down. And they know, because it's so frustrating when people think you're just mindlessly scrolling. So, but I appreciate that you, as a gentleman, recognize the struggle.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're happy to have here on the show. I give you as the beautiful, talented, the very hardworking. I give you Matessa Nicole. So, Matessa, before I let you go, where can fans hit you up at? Where is once again, OnlyFans, the X, Instagram, your chat, whether it's Chatterbait or Snapchat or whatever it is? Where can fans
Mhm.
hit you up at?
My website, I love matessanicole.com.
And that has everything, right? All the links there, all the the bells and the whistles, all the ways they can hit you up.
Yes.
All right, Matessa Nicole, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always an honor, pleasure have you on the show. We come back, a lot more going on here, only on It's After Hours, only on Full Swap Radio.